All right, we get to the legal corner with Chris Dimakos. It is brought to you by Silver Star Mercedes, who, by the way, their brand new showroom is open now, 7800 DeCarry Boulevard, been completely redone. And you picked a good time to go if you go this week. Their demo sales event is on now. 80 demos that all need to go, and all models, by the way, including EQ models, including AMG models, right now at Silver Star, Canada's #1 Mercedes-Benz dealer by volume. Let's go to Chris. So, Chris, I set this up as really you're describing what could be a perfect storm in the real estate market because we have interest rates coming down, likely to go down again. So I guess the question here is, if it's good for buyers and good for sellers, what's there to worry about?
Right. And from a legal perspective, we have like unprecedented circumstances, which is we have a population surge in this country. We had a pent up demand like we've never seen because so many people were on the sidelines because of the issue they have been with the inflation. Well, the rates we just heard from the Fed in the U.S., they made a jumbo cut of 50 basis points. The Bank of Canada is going to continue to drop its rates. And we just heard that through the federal government, the CMHC is going to allow for up to $1.5 million home values for insured mortgages with minimal down payments. It looks like we're setting up for a major run on real estate. And what happens from a legal perspective is that when the real estate market gets really, really hot, well, then people start to make a lot of mistakes because they're excited about the aspect of prospect of getting out of their current mortgage, which might not be good terms. They want to recycle that for a more competitive mortgage. And what happens is we have bidding wars, and we have just a bunch of buyers and sellers that are looking to capitalize on this potentially, what I believe and what analysts are saying is going to be a major run on real estate. So it's very important for people to understand what you're getting yourself into, and don't be swayed by this major wave. You have to protect yourself because whatever you think you're going to be making in terms of money as a seller or as a buyer, if you don't do your due diligence, you could find yourself in a really, really bad situation.
Okay, let me start with one potential here because you've posed a couple. So multiple offers, which you'd think rather would be good if you're certainly a seller here. But what should you do if you're a buyer here to defend against inflated pricing? We just had a situation where two realtors here were doing just that. They got caught and fined $50,000. But if the market gets hot again, you will see multiple offers. What do you do?
Right. And the important thing here for buyer and seller, what you want to do is if there's going to be offers, it costs nothing to make an offer, right? If somebody wants to make an offer on a home, usually it doesn't cost anything. I mean, they have the time of the realtor that they're investing. So you want to be able to distinguish your offer from all these other frivolous offers. And what you want to do as a buyer, from a legal perspective, you want to be able to set yourself up so that when you present an offer, it basically eliminates a lot of the risk that comes with a potential offer, such as being pre-approved for the property financially. So they know when you make an offer, if they sign off on it, it's pretty much a done deal. You have other things. If you're a seller, you can weed out a lot of these other offers that might not be, they might seem good on paper. The number may seem good, but the chance of the actual offer coming to fruition in terms of who the potential buyers are, you have to do your due diligence. And it's not only about, what the price is. You have to find out what state are these buyers in, what's the potential, what are they asking for in terms of inspections. All of these things, the contract is so important. Like, I'll just give you a quick example. There's a section where they say it's conditional financing being approved. And many times it's just filled out quickly. Mortgage rates are completely inaccurate. The amounts that's not a good thing. You want to be very, very specific when you have a condition to financing because you don't want to be held to a contract with a mortgage that is completely out of context. So, again, if you are going through the process of buying or selling your home, those documents, those promise to purchase, every section is very important. You have to go through them with your realtor, and you have to ask questions about each section, and you have to answer them strategically. It's important because if you don't, if you skip over that stuff and just look at the bottom line, the price, you might end up with the worst offer thinking that I got the best offer. It's important to go through those details.
Yeah, listen, that idea too about, approval or financing being approved, like pre-approved, that's obviously a consideration you want to take. It's great to have all these offers. You can write a big number on a piece of paper and then find out later that the financing wasn't approved, and then you've lost those previous buyers at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And not just in terms of the lending, but And another big problem is inspections. So inspections. Some people say, well, this other offer I have is no inspection. You want to counter and up your price, but waive your inspection? That's a red flag. Anyone who's willing to offer more money and not inspect the property,
Right.
It's you don't want to jump on that bandwagon because you're conceding so much in terms of your legal rights. So again, understand who you are as a buyer. If you are pre-approved, that has a lot of weight in terms of how sellers will look at you compared to other potential buyers. So what you want to do is you want to make your offer from a legal perspective. You want to protect yourself, but at the same time, you want to make your offer the one that is the most realistic, and that not just from a buyer or realtor perspective. That's from a legal perspective as well. You want to make sure that it's sound legally and you're protected.
Let me turn to another part of this process, which is, of course, dealing with your bank or your mortgage company as rates begin to come down or continue, rather, to go down. What about going back and saying, hey, I have a mortgage now. I need to get out of this thing. I'm buying another place. Can you get some kind of a deal? Are they open to dealing, to negotiating?
Well, so my experience when it comes to these types of issues is they will do whatever the market forces them to do. So, for example, if the current mortgage, the numbers indicate that if they stay solid and say no, we're not gonna budge, we're gonna stay to the terms of this mortgage, and the penalty, let's say, is $50,000. Well, if you have another bank that's giving you a more competitive mortgage, even taking into consideration the penalty, what the banks usually do is, okay, we'll talk. Let's renegotiate now based on the new reality of where the market is. And a contract is a contract, but again, if you can use that contract and say, even despite the penalties that I have here, I'm still better off switching. That's when banks tend to say, okay, we'll sit down and we'll negotiate something with you. But again, all of these things, these factors should be looked at before you start looking at a new property. And again, I'm a stickler for the legalese. You have to look at what the contract says. All your conditions that you're going to be setting up as a prospective buyer, the conditions are there not just for the seller, but for you as well. So all the conditions regarding due diligence and inspections and financing, those are your tools. That's what you use to preserve your rights and make your offer as competitive as possible. So again, don't race through this. Don't get swept up with the wave. Take your time. Think about each aspect of the sale and protect yourself.
Yeah, and you can play off one financial institution against another too. Just because you have a mortgage with one doesn't mean you can't go to another lender.
Absolutely. And I can tell you, anytime there's a shift in interest rates, anytime it goes up or it goes down, what happens is there's movement and then market share movement. And then one bank that might have a nice market share might say, oh, well, now we got to start playing defense because people are starting to move and they're starting to get quotes from another bank that might be more aggressive. So whenever there's movement in interest rates, that's where banks start playing defense and they start to offer different things. So, when the interest rates were just solid and staying at the 5 and 5.5%, not much movement there, but we're going to start seeing a lot right now. And there's going to be banks that are going to be playing offense and banks are going to be playing defense. And as a potential consumer, you want to play them against each other. Absolutely.
Good advice. All right, Chris, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Aaron.
Chris Dimakos, our CJAD legal contributor. Made possible our feature by the folks at Silver Star Mercedes-Benz. Brand new showroom. They've redone it. It's magnificent. 7800 DeCary Boulevard. Take advantage right now. 80 demos, all priced to go. They need to go now, all models. So if you've been looking for a Mercedes, whether it's an EQ, whether it's one of the compact SUVs, the car, the CLA, they are 80 demos ready to go. It's a great time to get behind the wheel of one. Silver Star Mercedes-Benz, Montreal's, Canada's #1 Mercedes-Benz volume dealer.